The rain wasn't just falling in Tampa. It was pouring, not only from the gray skies and soaked field at Raymond James Stadium, but from the stakes of a season that had teetered back and forth with every snap, every fourth down, and every twist of the NFC South race. On a soggy Saturday afternoon that felt more like a playoff atmosphere than a regular season finale, the counting Tampa Bay Buccaneers eked out a Bucs 14 victory over the Carolina Panthers. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't dominant. But it was, crucially, painfully effective. And it keeps Tampa Bay's hopes alive to win the NFC South. Still, come Sunday, the ball will be in another team's court. The Buccaneers control their destiny only if the New Orleans Saints defeat or tie the Atlanta Falcons. A twist that has turned this division race into a dramatic three-team narrative. From the outset, the elements played as much of a role as the players themselves. Rain soaked the turf, turning pass routes into slippery slides and run lanes into mud patches, a challenge that tested both teams' fundamentals. Despite the conditions, Tampa Bay struck first. Quarterback Baker Mayfield, battling not just Carolina's defense but the dampened footing and swirling winds, found tight end Cade Otton with a touchdown pass that proved to be the game's decisive score. The connection, precise despite the elements, injected life into a team that had stumbled into the game with a 4-game losing streak. Mayfield's stat line was far from perfect when interception blemishes the box score, but his timely leadership under pressure trumped the errors. Backing him up was my kicker Chase McLaughlin, who calmly converted 3 field goals, including a crucial mid-game boot that extended Tampa Bay's lead and gave the Buccaneers breathing room. Across the field, the Carolina Panthers refused to wilt in the rain. Quarterback Bryce Young put together a strong performance, throwing for yards and 2 touchdowns. But the Panthers' offense struggled to find footing in the muddy conditions, especially on the ground where Carolina's rushing attack vanished, combining for minimal yardage. That drying up of lanes and late missteps culminated in a critical turnover deep in Buccaneers territory. In the final minutes, a pitch, play gone awry, that ultimately squelched Carolina's comeback hopes. A back-and-forth contest became one decided by inches, slips, and the unforgiving football weather gods. Despite the loss, the Panthers still have a pulse in this NFC South race, ready to pounce if the Sunday result breaks their way. Tampa Bay didn't lock up the division with this win. Not yet. The Buccaneers and Panthers now sit tied atop the NFC South with identical 2-9 records to claim the division title and the accompanying playoff berth and number 4 seed in the NFC. The Bucs need help from outside their own game. Specifically, the Buccaneers will win the NFC South if the New Orleans Saints beat or tie the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. That's because Tampa Bay holds the head-to-head tiebreaker over Carolina in a 2-team tie scenario. But should Atlanta defeat New Orleans, the division becomes a 3-team tie at 8-9, invoking a different set of NFC tiebreaker rules. In that instance, Carolina, by virtue of having swept the Falcons during the regular season, would emerge as divisional champions, vaulting past Tampa Bay. This tangled web of possibilities means one game in Atlanta on Sunday will determine the NFC South champion, even though the Buccaneers already played their final game of the season. What makes this closing weekend so compelling isn't just one game, but the convergence of multiple storylines. Coming into this matchup, Tampa Bay was on a skid. A 4-game losing streak had fans teetering between hope and despair. Yet in a weather-worn battle, they fought and clawed for a win that keeps the dream alive. Mayfield, despite occasional inconsistency throughout the season, delivered when it mattered, including that touchdown to Otton. Meanwhile, McLaughlin's reliability provided 3 more chances to put points on the board and build enough of an edge to withstand Carolina's late charge. Carolina's effort was far from overmatched, led by Young's dual passing touchdowns and a defense that kept the score within reach. The Panthers made this more than just a late-season footnote. Their downfall wasn't lack of grit, it was failing to overcome the conditions and the critical turnovers in crunch time. Now, unlike Tampa Bay, the Panthers are rooting for a Falcon victory on Sunday, an ironic twist that shows just how intertwined NFL playoff fates can become. Neither the Saints nor the Falcons are playing for their own division crown, but their game holds monumental consequences for Tampa Bay and Carolina. For the Buccaneers, a Saints win or tie hands them the NFC South, extending Tampa Bay's run of division championships to an extraordinary fifth straight since realignment in 2002. Such a feat would tie them for third most consecutive division crowns in league history. If the Falcons win, thanks to a three-way tie scenario, Carolina would win its first NFC South title since 2015. A dramatic return to playoff relevance after years of rebuilding. Suddenly, two teams that sit idle on Sunday hold the destinies of two others in their hands. A rare moment of suspense where the NFL's scheduling quirks create high drama. After this rain-soaked thriller, one thing is certain. This NFC South race may well go down to the wire. Like few division races in recent memory, if the Buccaneers clinch with a Saints winner tie, they'll ride momentum into the postseason and extend their divisional hold. For Carolina, one Falcons victory and the division falls into its lap, ending years of playoff drought and rewriting their narrative in a heartbeat. As for Tampa Bay fans, Saturday's relief was raw and hard-earned. But the biggest cheers may not come until Sunday afternoon. Until then, emotions remain suspended between what was and what could be.